Hey buddies, Miss Puggy here, coming at you with another Borderlands 3 video. Today I wanted to show you my first run of the Trial of Discipline. Now before we get into the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You have no idea how much it helps me out. We're at 960 subscribers, just 40 more till we get to 1,000. Let's do it, buddies, and let's get into the video. Right off the bat, I'm getting right into it here and throwing out a bunch of grenades. And what the build that we're trying to do is the Peregrine build that you guys are familiar with. It does billions of damage, as you guys seen. If you guys haven't seen the build, I will put a link up in the description up top, but the build's real focus is to just use rack attacks to activate the Revolter. You know, standard meta around this time is using the Revolter in that way, and just using the Guardian Angel to optimize the action skill damage and the grenade damage as much as possible. When we combine those two, we deal millions and millions of damage, which allows us to breeze through the trial and run very, very easy. We are also using another weapon by the name of Z Eruption, and what Z Eruption does is that every single time you overheat, you do send out a couple of projectiles that would debuff enemies as well. So that's going to be very useful in the boss. We don't use it quite here. We only do it near the end, and since this screen does take a little bit to knock down, I do a little emote there because, like, why not? Let's have some fun. And as guys know, that the trial isn't very hard itself until you get to the boss. I feel like the boss himself is pretty easy for most parts. The only parts that are difficult is when he runs up on ya, that we'll probably see near the end of this. He runs up on you and like one taps me twice. It's like a little charge attack. It's the only attack that really I have to worry about in this particular build, because we don't have any health gating since we're also using a Deathless. The Guardian Angel we're using has a URAD anointment to allow us to optimize the most amount of damage as possible, and we are using a Elemental Projector Deathless to allow us to proc the shock elemental damage with the Elemental Projector. That the boss does throw out shocks on us, so we don't actually have to proc it ourselves with our sellout. Normally what we do is use the sellout, which, as you guys know, is good for igniting or putting corrosive on you, to allowing to optimize your elemental damage. Now, the Revolter allows you to deal shock damage scaled based on the gun damage that you deal. So the sellout can be used with the Revolter after an action skill start to also proc a shock dot on you, which allows us to optimize our shock damage. And also, I believe, no, never mind. I was going to say that it also would give URAD, but the sellout doesn't have anointments, so you can't do that actually. So really, we're just trying to cruise through here as much as possible. Mistimed my shots there a little. Oops. And one unfortunate thing here is that we did run out of grenades. Normally I run on Mayhem 10 and we get a lot of loot drops from there, so we don't run out of grenades, but on Mayhem 11 it seems the loot ammo drops are a little bit lessened, so we don't get as many ammo as we want. The reason why I'm not running Mayhem 10 is because I found it very difficult to fight the boss with all the enemies with all this Mayhem craziness that comes out. And right there, do you see that? He knocked me down with just a charge. That was ridiculous. So we're getting the Z Eruption out occasionally to apply some some debuffs on the enemy boss to allow us to deal as much damage as possible. So we're just trying to get a debuff on him, and without those debuffs, the health bar would be draining a little bit less. And like you see here, right now he doesn't have the debuff, so we're going to reapply the debuff. And as soon as we apply that, you'll notice that the damage gets a lot higher. Like we got a decent chunk out of there, right there. And another decent chunk there. That was awesome. But without that, you'll see that our damage starts to fall off occasionally. So we just got to keep in mind that whenever we see us not dealing lots of damage, we can apply the debuff. And now when he's in his vulnerability phase, we can apply some debuffs to him, because he does take dots and debuff applications while he's in that immunity phase, so take advantage of that, buddies, as much as possible. We also trying to shoot our weapon as much as possible to apply as many crits, because with this build, you'll know that, and there's that charge attack that I hate. And unfortunate thing with that is that we can't do anything since our main damage is rack attacks, so we're just going to apply a debuff there and send out a rack attack as soon as we're back up. And we're out of ammo. But what I was trying to say is that every single time we crit with the weapon, and our grenades, since Megavore allows Light Show to crit. We do get a little bit of action skill cooldown back, so it keeps our rack attacks healthy. It does help when we shoot, since the... Oh, there's that Guardian. I mean, that, that fucking charge attack. Let's just reapply that debuff, and now that we're back up, we have 2 stacks here. We should be able to finish it. Let's just apply another debuff and send out more rack attacks. Let's see what happens here. And we're almost done. He's dealing some shock dots on us, so we get the Elemental Protector bonus damage as well. We might need to apply one more dot. No, I think we might be able to finish it. Well, let me see how I feel. No, yeah, let's just do a dot. And that was terrible. It hit the freaking wall. And there we go. Very easy. So the dedicated loot drops that I believe this boss has would be the Flipper and the KO Sun, which wouldn't drop from the chest itself, but let's see what legendaries we get, since we get 4 free legendaries. There's a skin I haven't got, which is surprising. I thought I had all the skins. And 3 relics we don't really need. Artifacts. This might be a good place to farm the relics. I mean artifacts. And let's see if we got any flippers. We should have. Yep, we got a flipper, and an artifact. I'm surprised we didn't get a Kyosen as well, but hey, maybe next playthrough. I hope you enjoyed watching that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.
And the last shall be first to immerse in a pass out heat, facing him up with a moxie melt till he woke up drowning in tchotchke hell. War in a cave with a torch on a wall, then a window arrangement of porcelain dolls.